in.
Wade Henderson, your title, please, as you would prefer.
I'm President and CEO of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights.
Wade, basically, you have a coalition of minority groups coming together in support of immigration reform, comprehensive immigration reform. And this is something that we really haven't seen before. You know, the face of immigration tends to be that of Hispanic persons, but we're hearing from Asian Pacific Islanders as well as blacks. What are the promises that you have been given that the black community, the Asian community will come up along with the Hispanic community in immigration reform?
Well, first, April, I'm so proud of the commitment that organizations like the NAACP and the National Urban League, as well as groups like the Asian American Justice Center and the Organization of Chinese Americans and others have made to common sense immigration reform. You know, we recognize that our system is broken. We have 11 million undocumented persons here. In many instances, undocumented workers are used to exploit both the system that allows them in, but also to, in fact, exploit them as well as domestic workers who are here. That includes African Americans and others, including poor whites. We recognize that fixing that system is critical for the future of the country. And we also recognize that without the leadership that's being shown by President Obama and Congress, we would not be where we are today unless we can move on a bill. So it's really important that we move quickly, that we move to get a common sense, comprehensive bill, and that we recognize that by regularizing the system, we are actually protecting workers, regardless of race, who are exploited in a system that takes advantage of the undocumented. And that's what we're trying to change.
What are some of the anecdotes in the black community as it relates to?
Well, I think many in the African American community fear that by regularizing these undocumented workers, that to some degree they will be displaced. We know that that is a fear, and we think we can address that. And we recognize that by making the system more regular and by enforcing the law in ways that protect all workers, those workers in particular, and African Americans most notably, will benefit from the kind of immigration reform we're talking about. I think what we're hearing as well is that, look, we shouldn't forget that our immigrant population includes a number of people from the Caribbean and from Africa, and that without some kind of common sense reform, they too will be left outside of the body politic of our country. We want to make sure that doesn't happen. So Ben Jealous and Mark Morial from the NAACP and the Urban League are providing great leadership on this issue, and we really are so pleased at the level of coalition that has come together in support of this effort.
And lastly, one question. We've heard for years about Haiti, the Haitian immigrants,
yes,
how the Cubans are allowed to seek political asylum.
Haitians are considered economic refugees.
Yes.
And how can we address that? That issue has come up explicitly. We feel that the treatment of the Cuban versus Haitian dichotomy is one in which ideological considerations are driving what should be a fact-based determination on who is covered. And I want you to know that that issue is on the table. We support making sure that our immigration laws are applied fairly, and that includes to the Haitian community as well.
So realistically, I mean, after all these years, the Haitians have been turned away when the Cubans are allowed to come. Realistically, do you see anything changing?
Well, I think what we are seeing changing is that the Haitian population that's here, that's part of the undocumented mix of individuals who need to be legalized, they will benefit. What we hope is that conditions in Haiti can be improved such that there won't be the need to leave Haiti to come to the United States for other than important reasons of joining our country. We hope that that issue will be resolved, and we're committed to ensuring that fairness is taken into account here as well.
Thank you, Wade Henderson. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you, April. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.